What's up, everyone? Welcome to WG episode 12, season 2. We're rolling right along into week 11 of the NFL season. Crazy.
Insane. Already week 11. Almost done with our semesters here at school.
Thanksgiving games are in a week, guys. You excited for that?
Oh, I'm pumped, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Thanksgiving football season personally because you got the Thanksgiving football games, then you got Black Friday the next day, and then you got college football rivalry Saturday. You have Ohio State, Michigan coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game every year.
I think this is the closest that game is going to be in a long time.
I think so too. And we'll see how Michigan plays without cheating. So that's my take. But anyways, we're your hosts, Adam,
Dante,
and Luke.
Welcome aboard for episode 12. Shall we jump right in? Get started.
Let's go.
We got can barely see it, but we got the WG sign up here.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best marker they had. It barely works, but it's the best I had. So that's what we're going with.
It works.
But real quick, I'm going to recap the fantasy leaders from week 10. Tell y'all who did well. This is ESPN fantasy football, by the way. I feel like I never clarified that. And I believe it is PPR scoring. So I'm going to start this week with a twist. For the first time, I'm going to give the defenses some love. And I'm going to tell you all the top 5 defenses of the week with an honorable mention. Our honorable mention this week goes to the Jets defense with 10 points against the Raiders. Then we had the Cowboys defense with 11 points against the Giants. Surprised it's not higher than 11. That's insane. Then not tied at the third spot yet. Number 4, Buccaneers defense against the Titans with 12. Then tied the 3 spot with 13 points. We had the Ravens defense against the Browns and the Colts defense against the Patriots. And in second place with 15 points, we had the Browns defense against the Ravens. And lastly, at number 1 with 19 points this week. That was close enough to an honorable mention on the regular top 15 list. 49ers defense against the Jaguars. Absolutely destroying over the weekend. Really went off. Moving on to the players. We had Jamar Chase with 23.4. That was our honorable mention for the week. There are no ties for the players, by the way. 15th with 23.84. Brock Purdy, welcome back, sir. Second favorite team, 49ers, for those who don't know. Happy to have that man back, balling out. 14th, we had Geno Smith with 24.06 in a very narrow win against the Commanders. On the losing side of that game with 24.18 points, we had Sam Howell. Cue Dante's Sam Howell voice.
Sam Howell.
First year. That's so incredible. Number 12, Ohio State legend with 24.2 fantasy points, Noah Brown for the Houston Texans. Number 11, the newest Minnesota Viking, I think back for the second straight week, Josh Dobbs, 25.12.
My God.
Balling out. Steelers legend, Josh Dobbs.
So happy for him.
You already know. Moving into our top 10 with 26.2 points. The return of David Montgomery did not slow this guy down at all. It is Jahmyr Gibbs. Then we had 26.3 from Mike Evans of the Buccaneers. Then number 8, 27.7 from the Commanders running back Brian Robinson Jr. Into our top 7, we had 28.42 from Chargers QB Justin Herbert. The number 6 spot, our top scoring tight end of the week, 30.4 from the Vikings TJ Hawkinson. And into our top 5, 30.5 fantasy points from Detroit wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I'll just say it this way. Number 4 through number 2 are all Dallas Cowboys. So 32.3 from Brandon Cooks, 37.86 from QB Dak Prescott, and 39.5 from wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. He's been going off lately.
Oh, yeah.
And then our fantasy leader of the week with 40.5. They lost the game, but he still went crazy. It is Keenan Allen for the LA Chargers. I feel like he's led another week this year. pretty sure.
How many points did he have, Adam? How many points?
40 and a half.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
man,
absurd.
crazy.
Yeah,
When
good.
he is on, he is on.
Very true.
That's
Very
for sure.
true.
That's for sure. But I guess that'll jump us right into recapping week 10 of the NFL season.
Mhm.
It was an eventful week. We had 6 games decided by game-winning field goals at the end of regulation.
Saw that today. Yep.
No overtime games. All 6 as time expired.
I feel like there hasn't been an overtime game in a while. I'd
No.
have to really think about it.
I know Rams Colts a few weeks ago, Commanders Eagles the first time they played. I can't remember the last one besides that.
Mhm.
But speaking of these field goals, how about that Monday night game? The Denver Broncos
That was actually a good game.
go
It
into
was.
Orchard Park and get an upset win over the Bills.
I'm not worried about the Bills anymore in terms of, being a threat in the
Me
playoffs, if they even make the playoffs.
I thought you were going to say, I'm not worried about the Bills. In a way, do you mean they'll be fine? And I'm not so sure they will be.
No, I'm not worried about like playing them because I feel like right now, if the Steelers and Bills played, it would be a competitive game. I don't know who would win. I might pick Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. The way we're running the ball right now, and the way Josh Allen is not protecting the football compared to how we are, it could be a close one. I mean,
Honestly, yeah. Not to cut you off.
no, you're good.
The way that Pittsburgh wins, it's one thing to say, oh, you guys aren't going to be able to do much against the Buffalo defense, which may or may not be true.
Mhm.
You guys don't really rely on your offense anyways. You rely on a couple good drives a game, but then again, everybody does.
Yeah.
It's your defense, and who better to play than the turnover machine Buffalo Bills? 4 turnovers on Monday night. So I think you guys would definitely pose a bad matchup for them.
And one thing that would also help us in that game is that we rarely turn the ball over. I know we
Very true.
talk about Kenny Pickett like not being a great quarterback, but the guy protects the football, I'd rather, my quarterback get a couple first downs than we like settle for a field goal or even punt, than give the other guys good field position by either a fumble or a pick. So that's one thing Kenny does, and this whole offense does pretty well this season, is protecting the football.
Yeah. I was also going to add the Bills were kind of in a panic effort at the end of that game, fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, Panthers legend Ken Dorsey, someone Carolina actually took a look at to be the head coach of the team before they hired Frank Reich. I don't know if it really would have been any different with Dorsey, to be honest. I mean, I guess not knowing now that he got fired. To me, I kind of feel like the Bills might need to make a head coaching change, but they're not going to do that mid-season. If they want to make a change, they're going to look for somebody else as a scapegoat, and I guess next best thing is the OC. But that offense needed a change. They were not looking great. If they're going to improve the rest of the year, they needed something to change, and I guess Ken Dorsey just became the odd man out.
Well, the head coaching thing, you have a point, and we can get into that. But it definitely you hit on the right word. It is a little bit of scapegoating. Ken Dorsey isn't the one out there throwing those interceptions and fumbling 2 or 3 times a game. Granted, it's probably also because their offensive schemes aren't great, and there's a lot of passes that Josh Allen just doesn't need to be making where there are better reads opening up if you have a more competent play caller. But I really do think that they need to do some soul searching, as one of my friends often says. There are much deeper questions to be answered than let's just fire our offensive coordinator. That's not going to solve all your problems, and it's definitely not going to be enough to bring you to the playoffs if you're on the trajectory to miss the playoffs. And so far they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What are they now? 5-5?
5-5.
Wow.
And they have the Jets this week, but then they start a stretch where they play. I forget the exact order, but they play the Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys, and Chargers 4 weeks in a row.
I think they lose 3 out of 4 games. I think they could beat the Chargers.
I agree with that, but I can see Kansas City beating them for sure, Philly beating them for sure. Dallas, I think, will be a close game.
I think Dallas will beat them
I think Dallas will beat them too.
by probably 10.
I'll give them
Say
the
they're
benefit of the
playing
doubt and say that, including the Jets, because we mention them like they're not worth mentioning. But week 1, they did beat the Bills with Zach Wilson, in large part due to Josh Allen throwing 3 interceptions. But it's not impossible that they beat them again. But what I was going to say is I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that Jets, Chargers, Dolphins, or not. Did you say Dolphins?
I said Jets, Chiefs,
Chargers,
Eagles,
Chiefs,
Chargers,
Eagles, Dolphins.
not Dolphins.
Cowboys. Sorry.
Dolphins is. I should add this. This is interesting. Dolphins is their Week 18 matchup.
In Miami.
So,
I'm looking at this right
in
now.
Miami, say there's the chance. I mean, what if Miami has the division finalized by then? Or say they still have something to play for? Is Miami going to be playing their starters in that game against Buffalo? Who knows?
I could see this Buffalo team seriously finishing 7-10. I say they beat the Jets. I say they beat the Jets. They'll lose to the Eagles, lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Cowboys, maybe even lose to the Chargers. I'll give them their game against the Patriots at home. But again, that could go either way. That's a tough divisional game. And then
Pats already have one on them this year.
That's what I'm saying. Then
I was gonna say I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that their next 5 games they'll win 2 of those games. But
that's fair. Yeah.
I think, kind of agreeing with you guys, they can beat the Jets and they can beat the Chargers, but I think they lose to the 3 best teams in those next 5. And then I guess it's just the Patriots and the Dolphins after that.
They have a gauntlet after the Jets. They have Eagles, Chiefs, and Cowboys all in a row.
So say they win 3 of their next 6. That would mean they're 8-8 going into that Miami game.
Yeah. And on the fringe of a playoff spot, maybe not even, because the AFC is so tough. The playoff teams might even be set at that point.
I would say in the AFC this year, you're going to need at least 10 wins.
Yeah.
I think Steelers get that pretty easily. Browns could definitely, one of the Browns or Bengals is going to get that. Ravens are definitely going to get it. Your other division winners are going to get it. Texans very well may get it. We're going to be talking about Texans or Jaguars at the end of the year. So I'll just say that the other one of those teams is probably going to get it, and there's your playoffs. So I don't see a spot for the Bills.
Which is just absurd, because
it's absurd.
I just want to add, and Dante, this is no offense to the Steelers whatsoever. I never pictured going into the year that there would be a lower chance the Bills just finish over 500 than the Steelers. The Steelers, right now, it's looking like they're going to have no problem extending that 500 or better streak for Tomlin. Or the Bills, there's a legit shot they finish under 500 this year.
Yeah.
Which it could be the difference from making the playoffs, possibly making a run, and everything's fine, compared to they miss the playoffs, fire Sean McDermott, Stephon Diggs requests a trade, and the Bills may not completely be at square one, but they're pretty close to it. So,
no, I mean, I was going to mention that earlier on in the episode, but if you told me going into this year the Steelers would have a better record at week 11 than the Bengals and the Bills, I wouldn't believe you. Like,
insane.
It is mind-blowing. Though I do think we are a solid team, and we can beat teams mainly by our run game and our defense. Still got to figure the pass game out. But I think we could beat teams, and I don't know. I thought we were going to be decent by what I saw in the preseason, but I didn't. I thought we were going to be like throwing the ball to George Pickens 10 times a game, like a Mike Evans type of production. I thought it was going to be like that, but we're winning. That's all I could be grateful for. Do I wish Kenny was playing better? Do I wish our receivers were getting the ball more? Of course, but we're winning games, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, well, back to Buffalo. One more thing before we can jump into your game. I was going to say, for the Bills, this is a very important 7-game stretch for them. Probably their most important in years.
100%.
Franchise altering, possibly.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But as you were talking about your Steelers, why don't we jump in to the Steelers recap? Go for it. I know you're excited to talk about it, so go ahead.
Well, first of all, starting off strong, back-to-back weeks with an opening drive touchdown. That's something we haven't seen the Steelers do in quite a long time. I mean, since Ben was the quarterback. And not only an opening drive touchdown, our first 2 drives ended in the end zone. However, after that, we couldn't get much going. Jordan Love looked pretty good against us. He did throw 2 picks, but 21 for 40, 289, 2 touchdowns. I think that could have been more miscommunication from the defensive side, but he was putting it where it needed to be. Jaden Reed had 5 for 84 with a touchdown. Not bad, but the one thing I was very proud of, which I touched on it a few minutes ago, whenever I was talking about what we do well, running the football. This is one thing that the Steelers have not been able to do pretty much since 2019, whenever it was like James Conner's prime. But you look at Jaylen Warren, man, he's looking like our running back 1 right now. That guy's an absolute stud. 15 for 101 with a touchdown.
Him.
I mean, that's like an average game for like one of the top backs in the league. Then Najee's finally coming around, 16 for 82 with a touchdown.
Sorry to interrupt you. What was Warren's stat line?
15 carries, 101 yards with a touchdown. Yeah.
And Najee's?
16 for 82 with a touchdown. Yeah, we had like 205 yards on the ground as a team.
That's good.
Yeah, almost over 100 yards more than our passing game, which is just absurd. But yeah, we moved the ball well. Obviously, it's a Steeler game, so we have to make it intense, and I have to have a heart attack during every
way.
It's the Steeler way. I have to have a heart attack during every fourth quarter of this game. But we held on. We got the win, 23-19, improved to 6-3, which is just I couldn't be happier right now. I mean, obviously, I want Kenny to play better, as I've said time and time again, but he's doing enough for us to win games, and our defense is playing out of their mind right now. And yeah, Steelers 6-3, your 5th seed in the AFC.
You got to take what you can get with that group right now, and they're certainly giving you, I think, more than a lot of us thought we could get. Which 5 seed, 6-3 record. In a division that good that you're playing in, you guys are in 2nd place right now.
Yeah. It's
behind the Ravens, who we know in the past have had issues with staying consistent for the rest of the year. They always fall off a little bit. So say that happens this year and the Steelers keep winning. Dare I say, AFC North champion Pittsburgh Steelers.
The fact that it's even possible, I'm not expecting that by any means. I just want to get into the playoffs.
Understandable, yeah.
But man, the Ravens are a really good team. They play defense, they wear you down. Plus, their offense is as good as it's ever been under Lamar. Yeah, I'm just trying to get there. I'm really not worried about catching up to the Ravens right now. I'm more worried about staying in front of the Browns and the Bengals, because those teams could hit hot streaks and be good for a long time.
I want to add one thing on that, and I know this is kind of relating different sports, but it's been proven. I mean, you look at the playoff seeds the last few years, 2022 MLB playoffs, 6-seeded Phillies barely sneak in, make the World Series. You had NBA playoffs, 8-seeded Miami Heat go to the finals. NHL, 8-seeded Florida Panthers go to the finals. MLB this year, the World Series was between a 5 and a 6 seed. We're getting to that point where seeds don't matter as long as you get in the playoffs.
Anything could happen.
It's anyone's game. Anyone can win and anyone can move on. Seeding really doesn't matter. It's just about getting in, and from there, just do your job and win.
Yeah, not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Obviously, if we get to the playoffs, anything's possible. But I mean, I don't even want to think about that right now. But whenever we beat Seattle in the Super Bowl, we were the 6th seed, and we got there, and we went through a gauntlet, got to the Super Bowl in Indy, and beat Seattle. So
Steelers can definitely make a run. They are a very intimidating team right now. If I were a contending team, I honestly would not want to play them.
Yeah, just because, what do we have to lose? We didn't expect to be here.
Exactly.
Young, good pass rush. Anyway, I'm talking too much about the
Oh,
Steelers.
you're good. You guys are kind of like the Houston Texans, in my opinion. You both are having a great season. You have nothing to lose. You might as well. I mean, like the Texans case, they don't have their first round pick, so
Mhm.
they're going to try and make the playoffs because they've got nothing to lose. But
Oh yeah, I mean,
Steelers at the same time also have nothing to lose.
yeah. If I was an opposing team, I would not want to see T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith in the playoffs, along with
Right.
Cam up the middle. I mean, plus Ogunjobi, dude. Ogunjobi is my sweet king. I love that guy so much.
I
Anyway,
hate to drop in the negative question about the Steelers, but which defensive player is out for the season now? Is it Quan Alexander?
it is unfortunately Quan
That's a
Alexander.
shame.
That guy is a absolute stud and
He's doing well.
he was very good. However, I am excited to see how our young guys at middle linebacker play. We have Landon Roberts, who Luke, was a Patriot and won a bowl with you guys. Been playing really well for us. And we have a guy named Mark Robinson from Ole Miss, who's an absolute unit, a big heavy hitter. Been waiting for his moment for a long time. And we have a lot of depth at inside linebacker, so it's obviously something to be mindful of, but I think those guys could get it done. So
Definitely. Luke, do you want to talk about the Patriots or you want me to talk about the Panthers?
I could talk about the Patriots, but I don't know if want is the right word.
oh, Luke, I'm sorry. This game was hard on my eyes. This was bad.
Which game was more hard on your eyes, ours or his? Be honest.
Um,
I'm trying to remember yours.
They were both pretty bad.
Probably the Colts Patriots. I was entertained by the Panthers Bears. That was a scrappy fight.
At least it was close.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
yeah.
2 field goals against the Colts, who they're a fine team, but they're not that good of a team at the end of the day. Gardner Minshew, our defense played okay. It really is. It is the end for Mac Jones. It is the end for Bill Belichick. Nothing's going to happen. He's going to finish out the season. Mac won't as the starter, which I'll get into in a second. But Bill will finish out the season. But that last game, that was it. That was when minds were made up behind the scenes. You see that video of Robert Kraft dropping his shoulders and bowing his head and just sighing like he didn't want to be there, and it was just so disappointing. You see Mac on the sidelines pouting after he gets benched, and Bill face palming. And I tried to tell everybody was blowing up my phone. Oh my God, Zappe is going in. Bailey Zappe is going in. I was like, guys, I promise you, he's no good either. Like, that was a freak 2 or 3 week event last year where he played the Bears and whoever else, like the 31st and 32nd ranked defenses, and he was undefeated as a starter. But he goes in, and what does he do? He fake snaps and throws it into quadruple coverage, or he fake spikes and throws it into quadruple coverage for the game sealing interception. It's just flat out embarrassing. I can't help but laugh because I can't believe the words that are coming out of my own mouth. But here we are. And what sucks is the fact that, like, if we had our team from 2021 that went 10-7 and made the playoffs, we could have won our division this year. The Dolphins can't beat anybody over 500. The Bears can't get out of their own way, and the Jets can't move the ball down the field. If we had our team from 2 years ago, if we had this team healthy, we would have had a couple more wins. It's a lost year, but at least I have some things to look forward to. Being that it's a completely lost year, as I explained last episode, I was on the fence about wanting to win and wanting to lose, and we lost. So I have no choice but to embrace that now. I do seriously think that if he's on the board wherever we pick, we need to take Marvin Harrison Jr. purely based off the fact that if that means we have to sit through Mac Jones for one more year, we don't have to pay him. We can do that. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is more of a immediately franchise changing player than Caleb Williams would be, with Tyquan Thornton and Demario Douglas and Jalen Reagor to throw to.
Mm-hmm.
which I've talked enough about that. Don't even get me started about the lack of talent around the team. I've already covered that in previous episodes. I don't have any new thoughts on that. It's still the same as it's always been. But it's just unfortunate that this is the way it's going to go down. Our ship isn't only sinking, it's on fire. And now the only question I have to answer is, who do I want to start a quarterback? Well, the answer is Malik Cunningham, but I know better than to get my hopes up for that. So it's going to be Will Grier, I hope.
Panthers legend Will Grier.
WB legend.
Can you believe that this is where the point that our season is at? But
dude, Will Grier was a beast at WVU.
Yeah. I hope he starts because Mac Jones is done. He's lost the locker room. He's lost all of his confidence. If he ever had any ability to play halfway decent this year, it's gone.
Luke, can I interrupt you real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to say how I wish you guys still had Matt Corral to at least give that guy a shot.
Yeah, although I wouldn't have gotten my hopes up for that either, but true.
Fair.
Where's Matt Corral?
Free agent.
Yeah, that guy never got a chance.
It's a mental health thing, but I don't think he's played anywhere since.
That poor guy, man. That sucks.
Bailey Zapp is no good either. Trust me, he's horrible. And we took him over Sam Howell.
Oh.
And see, I in the past I had talked about how the past 2 drafts have been better for Bill Belichick. Christian Gonzalez, stud. Actually, that's about it. But last year, yeah, that's about it. Last year's drafts, I gotta pull it up. Give me a second. It's looking so bad now. I can't believe how bad it's looking. Yeah, this first article I'm pulling up, it says right now it looks like one big disaster. That's putting it lightly. First round pick, Cole Strange, who's been fine, but we could have had him in the 3rd round. 50th overall pick, Tyquan Thornton, who is about as fit to be an NFL wide receiver as I am. 85th overall pick, Marcus Jones. He can't stay on the field. Jack Jones, early 5th round pick. No, late 4th round pick. He had character issues. We cut him, and lo and behold, he went to the Raiders of all places. That fits the bill. I could have told you that one. Expatriate and character issues. I saw that coming from a mile away. Again, late 4th round pick, Pierre Strong Jr., who right now is backing up Jerome Ford in Cleveland. 5th round picks, Bailey Zapp, again, over Sam Howell. Late 5th round pick, Kevin Harris, another running back who has done nothing with his career. And now it's a couple names I don't recognize. Sam Roberts, Chasen Hines, Andrew Stuber. Have you ever heard of any of those people?
Those are not real people.
Since their names got called, neither have I. So I've answered the question about Bill Belichick in the past, but I'm going to change my answer to it's time to move on. It's not time to take away his drafting rights, his GM rights. It's just time to move on. And it's unfortunate, but we need to start to look into the future. And he probably should have just retired. Well, not retired. I don't see. It's difficult. Excuse me. Jeez. Choking on air. Because I wish he would just retire for his own peace. But he can't because he can't live without the all-time wins record, which he is. I'm not sure what the number is. He's like 7 wins away or something. But he's only like 3 losses away from the all-time loss record. He's going to get that one sooner. So I don't know where he's going to go next year. I can't believe it, but I hope it's not back to New England, because then we're just going to be in the same situation next year, and nothing good is coming out of this year except for the 3rd overall pick or whatever it ends up being. I didn't even talk about the game. I just gave a State of the Union. The game was ugly. If you didn't watch it, don't go back and watch it. Thank your lucky stars that you didn't bother watching it. But I'm so sorry, Germany, you had to witness that. They probably never want the NFL to come back to Germany, and I don't blame them necessarily. That was a horrible game. But we're a horrible team, and horrible teams play horrible games, and that's what it was. So I have nothing else to say. I'm going to pass the microphone to Adam. And I've said my piece.
There ain't much to talk about over here. Listen, I just want to affirm to the NFL world, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, Chicago, you're welcome for losing and keeping our draft pick second. And you're welcome that Arizona won and made our draft pick first overall. So congrats. Go select Caleb Williams with it or something. I don't know. I don't care. Like, I'm at the point where I don't even care about our draft pick anymore. That is the least of my worries. What my worry is all week I have had to hear that nobody believes in Bryce Young anymore, and we made a mistake taking him over CJ Stroud, and Frank Reich needs to be fired. That's what I've heard since the loss. And I'm not going to say I definitely don't agree with all of it. I'm not going to say I disagree with all of it either. Yeah, Bryce Young's been disappointing, but Tua had a disappointing rookie year where the quarterback picked right behind him had a great rookie year. I'm pretty sure won offensive rookie of the year, unless I'm mistaken, and has probably had a better career to this point. That's probably going to happen to Bryce compared to CJ Stroud, but that's not saying Tua ended up all bad. Tua is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and I think Bryce Young could be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL going forward in a few years. That being said, is Frank Reich the guy long term? Probably not. But to me, you probably should give him more than 1 year. I feel like, I don't know, if you fire him, whatever, I'm not gonna throw a tantrum or hate on it, because like, what say do I have? I'm just a fan. But I mean, to me, he hasn't gotten a fair shot with this team. We have nothing to work with. Most of our defense is hurt. Our offense is centered around two people. He's not getting a fair shot. We need to actually get aggressive, get some people in here that can make a difference. And then once we are way more set, if Frank Reich cannot win with that group, then I'm fully on board with firing him, going in a different direction. But to me, he just hasn't gotten a fair shot with this group. And I don't think we're going to fire him. I think we're going to give him more than 1 year. But I don't know. We play Dallas this week. So you have my permission to make that your lock of the week, by the way. So that's really all I gotta say. Congrats to Panthers legend Deontay Foreman for the touchdown Thursday night. I'm happy Justin Fields is back for them. I don't know. I was just at the point where I watched us lose Thursday, and I'm like, I could be mad. I don't even care, really. And I'm passionate about the fan base. I am. I'm a huge Panthers fan. Y'all know that. I put my heart and soul into that fan base, but I'm at the point this year where I don't care. We can go 1-16, whatever.
It's
We're
hard
not
to.
going to close. We're not going to come close to the playoffs. We're not going to probably going to get last in the division. Our pick's probably going to be number one, and we're not going to have it. I mean, yeah, it sucks. I'm mad about it, but what's complaining for 3,000 weeks in a row going to do? Nothing. So just kind of have to accept it and say the future's bright with Bryce Young, because I believe in number 9. I believe in the man on this hat. So
I have a Freiermuth and a Porter jersey if you guys want to join my team.
hey, may not be a bad idea. I do have my McCaffrey Niners jersey in the room.
There you go. You have that to root for. You have McCaffrey. to root for.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Tom Brady's nowhere. I got nobody else to cheer for, so
For
may
the
take you up on
Bucks.
that, Dante. What'd you say?
Root for the Bucks.
I could. I have no emotional attachment to Baker Mayfield. Trust me.
That's fair. That's fair. You root for the Raiders and Jimmy G.
Yeah, maybe with Josh McDaniels gone, I could suffer through it, but I still don't think that they are even going to make the playoffs. So
I just feel bad for y'all, man. And I'm not even trying to like be mean. I genuinely feel bad at this
I
point.
get it. I'm not
I
trying
mean, like, you probably, Adam, yes, completely. I feel horrible about your situation, but you're probably like the only other NFL fan. There's maybe a handful in the world that will say, "Yeah, I feel bad for the Patriots." You're being very kind to me, and I'm very appreciative of it. But the amount of people who have told me like, you guys had this coming for so long. I never thought I'd see the day that the mighty empire has officially fallen. We've fallen upon dark times, and we were the most dominant team in football for 20 years.
No,
And
it's
yeah,
not even about that. It's just as a fellow NFL fan, it's hard to see your team lose like that. It's hard to see him. Sorry, I'm getting something right now. I'm moving because I have to charge my laptop. But yeah, it's hard to see. It's hard to see your team whenever you put so much energy and time into your team. It's hard to see them not perform the way you want them to. And trust me, I've been there too.
yeah. I saw a tweet today that went kind of viral, that said the NFL is better when these four teams are good, and it was the Steelers, the Saints, the Patriots, and someone else. I forget. Maybe you remember.
Like the Cowboys.
Probably something like that. And it's true. I do think the NFL is a better place when the Steelers are good. The NFL is, I think, easily much more fun when we don't have to have these conversations about people like Bill Belichick, who are going to be written in the history books about the sport. It's no fun having these conversations of, should he get fired? Is his legacy tainted? And I don't even want to get into that, but I do appreciate it, and I at least have something to look forward to with the drafts. Adam, I think you guys obviously have something to look forward to in the progression of your team. I don't have that to look forward to. I just have to have some blind faith and hope in the future, because something has to change. So with something changing, hopefully it changes for the better.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we've talked a while about our squads, not a bad thing, but do we want to jump into week 11, make some picks? Because that's fun. We can lighten the mood in here.
Yeah, let's talk
It's going to be a ton of fun because the Patriots are on bye. So we may or may not lose to the bye week, but at least I don't have to pick that.
We lost to the bye week, dude. It happens.
Or actually, what would be really funny is if on the Instagram graphic, we won't count it towards our official records, but if I put Patriots versus bye and I pick bye, like we're gonna lose the bye week somehow. I wouldn't be surprised. So either way, no, yeah, we can definitely get into picking next week's games.
All right. Sorry, boys. Thursday night football tomorrow night at the time we are recording this. We got a great game.
Oh, can't wait, dude.
Bengals and Ravens in Baltimore.
I cannot wait for this one.
Definitely.
And this is hard. Unless Dante knows who he's going with.
I think
NL Central, or not NL Central, AFC North. What am I saying? I'm thinking you're the Pirates.
Hopefully,
NL Central.
Hopefully the NL Central is this competitive with Pittsburgh in it next year. But
hey, I could definitely see it. But
yeah, anyway.
Anyway, you know who you're going with, Dante? I'll let you kick it off.
I do. And I think it's going to be the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to take this one. However, I could see the Bengals winning this, but man, the Ravens are just such a good team right now. I'll be rooting for the Bengals because I'll get into that later. But yeah, taking the Ravens, defense very good, and they're going to cause problems for Joe Burrow in that offensive line with their pass rush. Yeah, at home, at the bank, it's a tough place to play. And take it from me as a Steeler fan, man, that's such a hard place to go and get a win on the road, but I'm going to roll with the Ravens.
Me or you, Adam?
I still don't know.
I think I'm going to pick the Ravens as well. I may or not have just looked it up, and Lamar Jackson has a 7-2 record against the Bengals in his career, apparently. Obviously, these two teams are about as evenly matched as you could get. It's going to be an excellent game. It's going to be a chess match of a football game between two bitter rivals. I can't wait to watch it. But I do think the Ravens are going to come out on top, because I also think that if they rematch, in the playoffs, the Bengals might win that one. And I think the Bengals will have a better finish to the year, however that turns out being. So I'm just going to give the Ravens this game, and I do think right now they're in a better position. I don't know if T. Higgins is going to be healthy for this next game. It's little things like that. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Ravens.
Far less question marks around the Ravens team than the Bengals.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I feel like someone has to pick the Bengals here. So I'm going to do that. I also feel like I was thinking about it. This Bengals team is 5-4, unless I'm mistaken. I believe they're 5-4.
That sounds right to me.
If they lose this game, they're 5-5. They're very much in Bills territory, like the Bills. Cincinnati needs to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like I just mentioned, they are under far more pressure in this game than the Ravens are. And I think because of that, they're going to step up to the challenge. They're going to win at the bank. I mean, the Harbaughs are having a rough go of it right now. Jim Harbaugh certainly in his whole Michigan thing. John Harbaugh might have his second loss in a row. Who knows? But I got the Bengals here. I will say if I'm wrong, I will not be surprised. But
I'm just saying, if this is a game the Bengals 100% need to win, as you said, Adam, because they have the Ravens tomorrow. As we're recording this, it will be tonight as you're watching this. But Ravens, week 11, then the Steelers in a tough divisional game, then the Jaguars, then they have the Colts, which that should be a win for them. Then they have the Vikings, who are picking up steam. Then the Steelers again on the road. Then the Chiefs on the road. And then the Browns. They have quite a gauntlet ahead of them outside of like the Colts and maybe the Vikings. But
yeah,
this is a game the Bengals need to win.
It's going to be a tough one for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but moving on, Dante, you know what game's next? Do you want to go first?
Adam, you have Michigan, Ohio State. I have Cleveland versus Pittsburgh. This is the game we circle on our calendars.
Rivalry weekend, baby.
You guys heard me say how much I cannot stand the Browns and their fan base. If there are any Browns fans watching this, I don't apologize. My point still stands. I probably don't like you. But
Can I add one thing? We know their QB situation now. Deshaun Watson out for the season. It'll be Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the rookie from, I believe, UCLA, getting the start. Jay Walker, Panthers legend, former XFL MVP, QB2 in this game. So it'll be DTR against Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, matchup of the century. But it's going to be a defensive battle. I don't see either offense doing much in this game. However, I could see the Steelers running the ball well, and I could see the Browns running the ball well, as both teams have been doing these past couple of weeks. It all comes down to the quarterback situation, and I know I praise Kenny Pickett all the time, but there are not many quarterbacks that I would take Kenny over, but DTR is one of them. I'm taking Kenny Pickett and the Steelers to win this game on the road and improve to 7-3. And I don't feel good saying that. I am kind of nervous, but I think the Steelers are going to get it done.
Luke, you want me to go next, or you want to go?
It doesn't matter. I know who I'm picking.
I know too. I'll just go. I'm kind of going to base it off what Dante said. I was really thinking hard about this game today, even after Deshaun's injury news came out. If PJ Walker was playing this game, I really thought of leaning toward Cleveland. Them being at home, that defense plays very well. Browns still have a very good offense. PJ Walker has gotten the job done before this season. That being said, no hate to Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I don't trust him nearly as much as I would PJ Walker, which is mainly why I'm also going to be picking the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think it's going to be a close game. This is a game that legit could come down to a Chris Boswell game winner.
I would love
that happens. You heard it here first.
I would love that, dude. Anyway.
Luke, we clean sweeping.
We are. I'm picking the Steelers. Much to Dante's enjoyment, I'm picking the Steelers as well. And I don't think I thought about it nearly as much as you two did. They're just playing better. They're going to have a much better quarterback. I can confidently say that. I think they have a better defense. It's close.
I would take
Okay.
honestly, I'd give it to the Browns. I think the Browns have the best defense in the league, which did kind of make it hard to pick the Steelers. But either way, I still think the Steelers are going to win this game.
Hey
Okay,
man,
yeah,
put trust in your squad.
I found myself talking a little too fast for my own good there. I'll put respect where it's due on the Browns defense. I'll leave that alone.
That's the one thing I respect about Cleveland, to be honest.
But they don't find ways to win games like Pittsburgh does.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. Pittsburgh, if you look at their record, or if you look at their roster, you think, is this team 3-6? Are they 4-5? But they're 6-3, and they're going to keep on rolling. It's crazy. I hope you're having fun with them because it is so crazy to watch week after week. I had been picking against them, and somehow they find a way. And I picked them against the Packers, and now it's not looking good towards the end, but somehow they find a way. And I have confidence that somehow they're going to find a way.
In ways I relate to you guys with frustration with your team, because there have been little to no games this year where I've come out and been like, that felt good, because Packer game didn't feel good. But the one game I could say really felt good to win was the Raider game in week 2, whenever Kenny threw for like 250 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that felt amazing. Yes, I mean, this past week felt good because we like ran the ball very well, but I'm really looking for that statement beat them by 2 scores win. That's what I'm really looking for. And I think that could come against Carolina or not Carolina, Arizona, and one of our, sorry, Adam.
You're
It
good.
could come against Arizona or one of our games coming up, but outside of the division, I mean. But
I can tell you who else it might come against.
I didn't want to say it, but
You can say it. Yeah,
it could come against the Patriots.
it could very well come against the Patriots.
But we'll see. It is the football. It is the football. What am I talking about? It is the National Football League. Any given Sunday.
It is the football.
It is the football. Yes. I sound like a foreigner when I'm talking like that. It is the football. Anyway.
Steelers sweep.
Did not like that. But DTRing?
Yeah.
Why not pick the Steelers? Let's go.
Yeah.
Moving on to this next 1:00 game. I should also add there are no more international games for the rest of the year. So no more waking up at 9:30 a.m. to watch football.
None of them are really that good.
Yeah, that seems to be the theme, but it's still cool to see. But anyway,
Absolutely.
we have the Raiders and the Dolphins. Miami back from their bye, hosting Las Vegas. Will be rookie Aiden O'Connell against Tua. Antonio Pierce looking to extend that win streak to 3-0. But unfortunately, I don't think it happens. I have the Dolphins, especially since they're at home. They're playing good football. No reason they lose to this Vegas team, in my opinion.
100% agree. Give me Miami. I think it's going to be close, though. I think the Raiders are going to give them a fight. I think that defense is going to get after Tua, specifically Max Crosby, because that's really the only guy they have on defense. Actually, no, Spillane's been playing very well. And so as Marcus Peters has been having an up year for his standard.
Spillane was AFC Defensive Player of the Week, actually.
I cannot be happier for the guy. The guy plays so hard. Whenever he was in Pittsburgh, I was a big fan of his. He just didn't get the proper shot just because our middle linebacker room was pretty full with like Miles Jack and Devin Bush. But yeah, the guy's getting a shot and he's wearing the captain patch, which is even more awesome. So yeah, very happy for Robert Spillane.
Yeah, the Dolphins narrowly avoid me feeling like I have to pick the Raiders, because let me give you a stat. I want you guys to guess. When was the last time? I didn't just joke about this earlier. When was the last time do you think the Dolphins beat a football team with a plus 500 record?
Last year.
Yes, you're correct. When do you think last year?
Like week 10 or 11.
I'm gonna say
Adam,
week
what do you think?
3.
What do you say?
Week 3.
I have a hard time believing you didn't see it, but I'll give you the credit, Adam. Week 3 last year was the last time the Dolphins beat a team over 500.
Can I take a guess of who it was? Because I legit was guessing week 3.
That I don't know. Go ahead. I'll look it up.
I was gonna guess Buffalo, but I could be wrong.
But
But anyway, are you picking Miami in this game, Luke?
Oh yeah, I'm picking. Sorry, I'm picking that.
Okay, you're good.
The Raiders are 5-5, so I didn't really feel inclined to.
So you are going Dolphins.
5-5.
They are 5-5. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of made a resurgence.
Not a bad football team for sure.
Let's see. It was the Bills last year, week 3.
I called it. No way. How about that?
Who were probably 2-1 or 2-0.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's week 3. Like, still, that's not very impressive.
Yeah.
So if the Steelers are over 500 and we play Miami in the playoffs, I'm just saying.
I always laugh when I look at this 2022 Dolphins team because now I'm getting a little bit off topic, but let me read you this season they had last year. Patriots, Ravens, Bills, they start the year 3-0. Bengals, Jets, Vikings, they're suddenly 3-3.
They lost
Steelers,
Kirk.
yeah, it gets funnier. Steelers, Lions, Bears, Browns, Texans. All right, they're back to 8-3. Niners, Chargers, Bills, Packers, Patriots. All of a sudden, they're 8-8.
Wow.
I'm miscounting because I have them playing 18 games, but then they beat the Jets and lose to the Bills. So they were the streakiest team in football last year.
What did they finish as? 10-7?
Yeah, that sounds right. Because I definitely miscounted somewhere. So yeah, I think they were 10-7.
You would think with a team with
Yeah, okay. That last Bills game was a playoff game. No, they were actually 9-8 last year.
so were we, and we barely missed just because we didn't beat Miami. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the head-to-head.
Anyways, I just had to take the opportunity to bash the Dolphins. Why not? I'm still picking that.
Of
But I
course.
would have loved the Raiders to win this game. I would have loved it. It would be so fun. It would be so funny.
Absolutely.
We can
Yeah,
move
why not? Anyways, moving on, we have divisional game, Bears and Lions in Detroit. Justin Fields is supposed to be back for this game.
It doesn't
I feel
matter.
bad he has to come back to this game. Like, I'm not trying to be negative when I say this. Can Justin Fields sit out for one more week? Like, I don't want him to come back to this game. Lions by I don't even know how many. Detroit is going to cruise to a victory.
Yeah, Detroit, 100%. Not even a thought behind this.
easily.
And who would have thought like 3 or 4 years ago, we'd be looking at this game and being like, oh, yeah, one team's going to spank the other, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pretty
that's
crazy.
just the way it goes. It's crazy. But next game we got Titans and Jaguars in Jacksonville. I don't think these two have played yet this year.
I don't think so
You're
either.
wrong though. Will Levis against Trevor Lawrence. I believe Will Levis is actually older than Trevor Lawrence. Fun fact.
What?
I think so. Let's look this up. Let's go and
I'll
look
look.
this up.
This is actually a closer game than. I'll start while you're looking that up. I'm picking
Yeah.
the Jaguars, but this is actually a closer game.
Same
than
age, Adam. Same age.
What'd you say?
Same age.
Same age.
Will Levis was born June 27th, 1999. And Trevor Lawrence.
October 6th, 1999. So, yeah, he
Yeah.
is older.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy. I know. But to join Luke, I will also be picking the Jaguars. I don't think the Titans, the Titans only have 3 wins. I don't think they're a horrible 3-win team, but I just think Jacksonville, they're I mean, a 6-3 team. They're coming off a really rough game. They're in desperate need of a get-back game after last week, and I think this is a perfect example for them. They're at home against a divisional opponent that they should beat. I think Jacksonville will take care of business.
Yeah.
I just want to mention though, we keep waiting for them to hit their stride, and we wait and wait and wait, and it still hasn't happened. So I wouldn't rule out the Texans in this game, but as I completely interrupt Dante, sorry about
Oh,
that.
good. No worries.
I am picking them. So
For which game?
Jaguars. I'm saying I'm still.
Yeah, okay. Are we Dante? Were you gonna add something, or should we go on to the next game?
I just didn't know if I picked yet.
I think I interrupted you. So
I wrote Jacksonville for you. I kind of assumed you're going Jacksonville.
Going Jacksonville.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. It's all good.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I kind of assumed anyway.
Mhm.
But moving on, we have Lambeau Field, Packers hosting the Chargers. So, I'm gonna go Chargers in this one. I think they're just a better team. Green Bay, I don't know what to think about them. They're kind of like Tennessee with me. They're 3-6. I don't think they're a bad 3-6 by any means. They're still able to play opponents close, make games interesting. I think that could definitely be the case here with LA. I think the Chargers will get a win on the road, but I can see this game being a lot closer than it should be. But at the same time, that may not be the case. Green Bay may win. Who knows? But I think the Chargers are going to get it done. They are pretty upset from last week, losing that close game to Detroit, that absolute shootout, 41-38. They're an offense that can put points on the board. Their defense is just going to have to hold down Jordan Love and the Packers for the game, but they should be able to. So I'm going to go LA.
Luke?
I am going the Chargers as well. Adam, you're correct. They are an offense that can definitely put points on the board. I think the difference in this game is the Packers, it does not seem that way for them. They struggled against pretty much every opponent so far this year to put points on the board, especially against the Steelers last week. I think it's way too early to make any assumptions about Jordan Love. Fun fact, he has made less career starts than Sam Howell. So I wouldn't write him off as being good enough to be their guy yet, but this is not a game they're going to win. However, I think it could be interesting because the Chargers, they play up and down to competition all the time. So I think that the Packers will keep this one interesting, but I'm picking the Chargers.
Okay.
This is my upset. Give me Green Bay to win this game.
Okay. All right.
I think one of the main factors is going to be home field advantage. Playing Lambeau in the later months of the year, not an easy task. I think the Packers were getting the run game going last week against us. I think Jordan Love was making very good passes. I think Christian Watson was getting open. This is as good as a 3-16 could get, in my opinion. They could very easily very easily have 5 wins. They could have won last week. That was a very close game. Kept it close against a good Steeler defense. I'm going to take the Packers here.
I did not add that in, but my upset of the week, I'm going to count it as Cincinnati. Looking at this schedule, to me, I'm not trying to reveal any picks, but I feel like it's kind of hard to pick an upset going forward from here. And Cincinnati definitely would be an underdog with Baltimore, I think. So, that being said, moving on, we have an inter-conference battle between the NFC West and AFC South, with the Houston Texans hosting the Arizona Cardinals. With Kyler Murray's second game back from injury, had a huge win last week that Luke and I called. How about that? But they're playing a Texans team absolutely rolling right now. CJ Stroud looking like the clear offensive rookie of the year favorite and possibly an MVP candidate quarterback as well in his rookie season, which is just crazy. That being said, no questions asked. I have the Houston Texans winning this game pretty easily.
Agreed. Give me Houston. Stroud is just an absolute madman out there right now for Houston.
Absolutely. I feel inclined to pick Houston until proven otherwise. And I owe it to them being that last week I picked Cincinnati without thinking twice, and they really showed me. So they already had my respect, but now they earned even more of it. So
Hey, I saw the vision with that game. I had the Texans winning, along with I also had like I said, the Cardinals, and I was the only one to pick the Vikings last week over the Saints. So I'm taking that same route with Cincy over Baltimore. Some of those gambles have worked in recent weeks. So I don't know. I won 11-3 for a reason last week, I think. So we'll see what happens. But Dante, you said Texans, right?
Yeah, very easily.
You said Texans. Yeah, agreed. Moving on, man. The Carolina Panthers host the Dallas Cowboys.
Do we even want to talk about this one? I think we all know.
I will. I feel like I'm kind of inclined to. Listen, I've heard from fans around that, oh boy, the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Anything can happen. No, it's. I'm sorry. I hate to be Mr. Negative. It's not happening here. The Cardinals actually don't have that bad of an offense. Kyler, you have Marquise Brown, James Conner, Rondale Moore, Zach Ertz when he's healthy. The Panthers have Bryce Young, Adam Thielen, Chuba Hubbard when he's good, and beyond that right now, a bunch of roster fillers. That's the way everyone else is playing. So the Cowboys won, I believe, 49-17 last week. I'm going to put a hot take on here, and I hope it is not right. Dallas is winning this game by at least 30. I hate to say it. As a Panthers fan, I'm saying that.
Yeah, give me the Cowboys.
Dante, are you picking the Cowboys?
I don't want to do that out of
No, you got it. You can do it.
Yes.
You have my permission. I asked you that for a reason to get that. So, Luke, do you even just nod your head if you're picking Dallas? Because I know you are. Yeah, they're okay. Sorry, Panthers Nation. I picked you. I think 3 weeks in a row. I picked the Panthers 3 weeks in a row. They went 1-2 in those games, but they got to win. That's all I asked for. I can't pick them this week. I just can't. Nothing brings me to pick them this week. So, but let's move on. Giants and Commanders, our final 1:00 game of the week in Washington. These two have faced each other once already this year, where the Giants got a win. Do we think the Commanders are going to get the win here? I think so. They barely lost to the Seahawks last week. Very close game. Daniel Jones, not that Daniel Jones would help the Giants right now. He is not playing. It is rookie Tommy DeVito for the second straight week, who I guess you could say held his own against the Cowboys. But maybe it'll be a much closer game here. Much easier place to play in Washington, D.C. than Dallas, Texas. So, but that being said, Commanders are a sneaky team. I like their offense under Eric Bieniemy, and I think they're going to get a much-needed win here against the Giants, a team they should beat pretty easily. So,
I'm going to pick the Commanders, and I'm going to bring up something that's off topic in regards to the game. Whenever I hear the name Eric Bieniemy, I always think it's a rapper named Eric the Enemy, which is a hard rap name. But I always hear Eric Bieniemy, but it is Bieniemy.
Definitely.
I don't know.
That is funny that you say that.
yeah.
But you are picking the Commanders, Dante?
Yeah, easily here.
Okay. Go for it, Luke.
I'm picking the Commanders as well. I hear the Giants and I kind of stop listening because I'm going to go out on a limb and say they are the worst team in football.
Yeah, they're bad.
I think they
Not
are.
ridiculous to say that.
I cannot wait to pick the Patriots against them next week. I think that's going to be one of our maybe 2 remaining wins. I sure hope the other is against the Jets, but I do think we're going to beat the Giants. I think anybody beats the Giants right now, including the Panthers and definitely the Commanders.
Okay. I should also add before we move on, as unfortunate as this is for me to say, Dallas is my lock of the week over Carolina. I think that kind of goes without saying. So, anyways, let's move on to our first 4 p.m. game of the week, the Battle of Red Teams. Dante, whole lot of red. Playboy Cardi.
What?
We have the Buccaneers and the 49ers. When these two played last year, the 49ers destroyed the Buccaneers. I don't think it's any different this year. Give me San Francisco. Pretty easily, actually.
Yep, San Fran.
Yeah, I agree.
They had a 3-game losing streak and scared me a little bit, but last week they proved they are back. They're just fine. They're just as much of a contender as they were before. Every team has a little bit of a rough patch. They may have had 3 games that they lost that they should have won. Every good team has at least one. Remember last year, the Super Bowl champion Chiefs lost a game to the Colts in like week 3 in Indianapolis. They should have won pretty easily. I think last year as well, they went to overtime with the Houston Texans in Houston. Every great team has games like that. At the end of the season record is what matters most here. And there's still a very good chance, in my opinion, San Fran goes 14-3. We'll see what happens though. But like I said, they're going to win here. Moving on, we have our third out of 4 o'clock p.m. games. Our first 4:25 game. Sorry, first of 3 4 p.m. games. Jets and Bills. 2 of Luke's favorite teams. Am I right, Luke?
Yeah, totally.
I'm kidding. I think we all kind of gave our prediction earlier, but I'll double down on it here. I have Buffalo getting this win here. Like Cincinnati, this is a game the Bills absolutely have to win. And like Cincinnati, I think they're going to deliver on that and get the job done. It'll be a little easier than Cincinnati, I'd say. The Jets just are not looking good under Zach Wilson. The Bills are at home. They have their home crowd behind them, although they had their home crowd behind them Monday night. But to me, honestly, right now I'm taking the Broncos a little bit more seriously than I am the Jets. But I don't think that's ridiculous to say. But that being said, give me the Bills. I think they get a much-needed win here going into that huge 3-week stretch with the Eagles, with the Chiefs, and with the Cowboys. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'll take the Bills. I mean, this is like the least confident I felt picking the Bills against the Jets in quite a long time.
Same here.
But the Bills own the Jets, except for earlier on this year. But yeah, give me the Bills.
Give me the Bills as well. I do think that even though the Jets beat them week 1, it took everything going right. Well, okay, maybe not everything going right for the Jets. I can think of one thing that didn't go right for the Jets that game. And Aaron Rodgers getting injured. But pretty much everything else went right for the Jets that night. 3 interceptions, a whole lot of game managing, and no, I don't think that they get that lucky twice. This is not a conversation about Buffalo and what I think about them. They have their own problems, but the Jets definitely do too, and I think that the Bills are still a better football team than the Jets. So,
Cool. Yeah. Moving on to our next game, I'm actually checking something real quick, but I'll let you guys go first. Seahawks and Rams in LA. Go for it. I'm kind of thinking, actually, believe it or not. So
I'm taking the Seahawks here. Not much to elaborate on.
okay.
yeah, so am I. I'm taking the Seahawks. Geno Smith maybe hasn't been as great this year as he was last year, but the Rams have a ton of issues. And this is one of those games for the Seahawks where I'm going to be honest, I haven't really been following them. I don't know how they're playing, but it's just gonna be a feel nice, easy victory, and I think that the Rams are going to get into their own way one too many times, as they normally do in games that they lose.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was actually thinking of picking the Rams just for a fun upset pick, especially with Stafford possibly being back this week, but I just can't do it. I'm gonna pick Seattle. I'm gonna take the safe route here. I just think the Seahawks are a very underrated team. They've been very good this year. Really scaring me as kind of a 49ers fan as well that they could win that division. But I mean, we'll see. That is, I should add a Thanksgiving game is the Seahawks and 49ers. Very important game coming up. But I think both teams are going to take care of business this week, especially the Seahawks, and really make that matchup fun. So we're all going Seattle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I figured. Okay. Let's move on to our final two games this week. Sunday Night Football in a game that's actually looking pretty entertaining now. Vikings and Broncos in Denver. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm actually excited to watch the Broncos on primetime for once. I don't remember the last time I was able to say those words. Maybe week 1 of last year when they played the Seahawks. That might have been the last time. But Josh Dobbs looking really good. Vikings are expected to get Justin Jefferson back for this game.
Oh,
Really huge. I think they are anyway. Then you got the Broncos. They have won 3 straight games. Call it crazy. If Denver wins, they're a 500 team. They're 5-5 if they win this game.
yeah.
But I hate to say it, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Vikings are going to get the win here and continue that win streak they have going.
I'm going to take Denver.
I figured you were based on those facial expressions you were making.
I'm going to take the Broncos. Broncos have been picking it up. Mile High under the lights is a tough place. And I love Dobbs. I think he's been playing out of his mind. But this is the toughest environment he's had to play in so far. And I know it's the Broncos. The Broncos have been far from elite this year, but I'm taking them. They've been picking it up as of late.
That's fair. Luke?
I'm picking Minnesota. You almost convinced me, Dante, but for the sake of not even originality, but I'm just going to stick with the pick that I had, not let myself be persuaded. But I think, Adam, you were right. I think that this is actually a pretty good game. I'm excited to see if Josh Dobbs can continue his glorious run as this people's champion. And, you know, I'm excited to see if the Broncos can continue surprising people, because I know I wrote them off after their rough start, and they've been playing much better. So should be interesting.
Yeah. I should add that the Vikings are 1-4 with Justin Jefferson this year. They have one win coming against Carolina. So
well, yes, so that's one of those stats where it's a prime example for don't pay attention to every stat.
true.
But yes, that is true.
Something I felt like I should mention.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning.
But now we move on to our final game. Game of the week. Possibly the game of the year to this point. I am excited for this one. That quote from Kylian Mbappe, I will be there no matter what. I will be there in front of my TV, in my pajamas. Maybe that Jalen Hurts jersey I found at Ross will be on for this game. Who knows? We have the Eagles and the Chiefs at Arrowhead, Super Bowl 57 rematch. Call it ridiculous all you want. This game is giving me shades of that 2018 Monday night game between the Rams and the Chiefs. That was an absolute shootout in LA. I think it could be like that. Or it's going to be a great defensive battle, like a 24-21 kind of game. But that being said, boys, who are we going with for this one?
I want to see who you two are picking first.
Dante, do you know?
I made the mistake before of picking against the Chiefs, and I'm not making that mistake again. Taking Kansas City, it's so hard to win a game in Arrowhead especially primetime. Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to remind us why they are still the best team in football. And they're going to beat a really good Eagle team. I think it's going to be similar to the Dolphin game. I think it's going to be like 28-21. But I'm taking the Chiefs.
Adam, what do you think?
You still not know?
Oh, I know. I'm just curious.
Then go, because I don't know.
All right, I'm taking the Chiefs as well. I guess I didn't need to wait for your answer, Adam, because I wanted to see if you two picked the Eagles like you did in February. I was the only one to pick the Chiefs for the Super Bowl, and I was the only one to get it right. And I am going to stick with that pick again tonight. Although I do think it could go either way. And I'm excited for this game. Everybody is.
No shit, it's the Kelsey Bowl. Forgot about that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Will Taylor Swift be in attendance?
I was waiting for you to say that so I could ask you not to say that. And I couldn't care less, but I am very excited for this game, and I'm gonna pick the Chiefs.
Well, if you saw my pen, that ruins the color of the team I wrote down for myself. We clean swept a lot of games today, guys. We cannot clean sweep this one whatsoever. And I should add that Luke going second did not change the team I'm going for in this one. Like Dante said, he has picked against the Chiefs this year, and he has been wrong. I have not picked against the Chiefs yet. I have, I guess, been wrong twice, but whatever. I can afford to be wrong with the Chiefs winning with me not picking them. So for that reason, also because I feel like someone has to pick them in this game, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles. I can 100% assure you now, I will be wearing that Jalen Hurts jersey. In fact, I'll send you all a picture of it when I get home on Friday. It's gray and it has the Super Bowl logo on it. It has the Eagles font and the number and like that not Kelly green, the like teal green, like this green right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not like this green, the other green. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a different green.
Yeah. But those are the Week 11 picks. We got them right here. On bye this week, we have Falcons, we have the Saints, we have the Colts, and last but not least, as Luke mentioned, the New England Patriots.
Thank God.
Trust me, that's what I said when the Panthers were on bye. But hey, I should also add actually no, never mind. I was gonna say this is Carolina's really only rough game they have left. I forgot they play Jacksonville week 17 in Jacksonville. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Not as bad as this is going to be, but
it'll be week 17, and we'll be picking that game, and I'm going to say we're still waiting for the Jags to come into their own. We wait and wait and wait. We'll see.
Battle the Cats. That'll be fun. But anyway, that's going to do it for the boys on episode 12 of the season. Make sure to join the premiere tomorrow. Please do.
Well, the video will be playing after the premiere, but next week.
Yes.
Okay. You know what I mean. Join the premiere whenever you have a chance.
Well,
it happens 11. Is it 11:30 or noon?
Noon. The premiere wait time starts at 11:30, but the video drops at noon every Thursday. So get in there.
Yeah.
Get ready.
If you want to get in to see the whatever crazy sports animation, graphics, whatever Dante comes up with, get in there at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. But if you want to get in there right for when the episode premieres, noon Eastern, every Thursday. You won't be able to do that for tomorrow unless you're Timothy, like this guy, who will be there no matter what. But the following week, oh wait, it's Thanksgiving break. Are we gonna record? We gotta record.
We could get together.
Maybe Tuesday? Although
You said Tuesday?
Yeah, are you busy?
I'll still be here.
Oh man. Well, Luke and I could always do it over Zoom. We'll be home. The only thing I have that Tuesday is a haircut. This guy needs his haircut every month.
Fresh cut Adam. Let's go.
Luke needs his haircut once every like 4 months.
Twice a year.
Likewise.
Like the dentist. Yeah. But anyway, that's gonna be all for your boys. Adam,
Dante.
And Luke.
catch y'all next week. Thank you for all your support of the podcast. We'll see you when we see you. Goodbye.
Go Steelers.